Future Everything. Good, I am on. Thank you for joining us. For those of you who were here last night, you'll have seen a wonderful opening evening. The opening of our fantastic art show, Serendipity City, the music launch, and some phenomenal performances at the BBC studios, and I hope you all managed to get to those and were as amazed as I was. Very excited to be here today to welcome you to the Future Everything conference. We've got a lot of really exciting things in store for you today. We've trodden a very, very long journey to get here. We're going to tell you some stories about how we've got here, in particular about GloNet, which is really dominating today. We've done it in a very interesting climate of smoke clouds across Europe, elections, etc. And where we can, we've tried to really respond to that agenda. We had our very first festival event about 10 days ago, actually, a live remix by So Limited of the final election debate. So even though it's a kind of day one, we feel we've been up and running for about 2 weeks now. We've got some fantastic themes and some incredible speakers at this conference over these 2 main days. Some really fascinating themes about unlimited connectivity, about the city experiment. Open data is our major project this year. And interestingly, it's a project that's gone way beyond the festival. We've been funded to lead the charge to Manchester becoming an open data city, which is really a major undertaking, taking us far beyond our kind of cultural starting point into working in technology development, policy, etc. So it's a very, very exciting time for us. The conference has always been the heart of the festival and the heart of what we do. It's a time when our community comes together, we share exciting ideas, get the latest insights, network, and really when the ideas gel and we start moving forward on the next stages of our projects. The big story today is GloNet. GloNet is a project we've initiated in partnership with some really key agencies and technology partners. All of this technology, much of it you won't see behind there, is being run by Distance Lab, an incredible technology lab that's all about remote collaboration, remote communication, overcoming distance. We've been very lucky to work very, very closely with the British Council in trying to design a new kind of globally networked event, a new way of being globally connected. We've had fantastic support from NorthernNet, who have sponsored this event. And as you'll get to know and get to see through the course of today, we've also engaged very, very closely with a whole range of partners around the world. GloNet is about group-to-group connectivity. It's not about just sending a message out into the ether and people on their laptops in their bedrooms. We've got venues, we've got audiences, we've got participants in different venues around the world. We've sent out innovation champions who are helping, who have been running workshops. We're going to hear a little bit from Adam shortly about these workshops and how they're going to feed back into the program. Pretty soon, you'll get to meet these people. We're really, really excited. Verging on terrified at certain points. We're doing all our checks yesterday. Touch wood, everything's up and running. With all of these things, networks fail, and you'll be pleased to know that we've got a shadow program. So if things do go down, we've still got some fantastic things for you to enjoy and engage in. To move quickly on, we've started a little bit late. I'd like first to welcome to the stage someone who genuinely, this would not have been possible without. Someone who I had a meeting with last year, and we together hatched this crazy plan for a project called GloNet that would span the world and engage all sorts of venues and audiences and cross-cultural difference and cross-time zones and address big global challenges with people around the world. I can't remember if we were drinking at the time. We probably were, because it sounds crazy talking about it, but here we are about to do it. So if I can welcome Louise Wright from the British Council to say a few words about their project and their support for GloNet.
Cheers, Drew. And it was coffee. And yeah, welcome and thanks everybody for attending. And I'm really looking forward to today. I think it's really exciting, and not only meeting with delegates here, but meeting with delegates in Japan, Turkey, Brazil and Canada. And some of those people are still asleep, so please pace yourselves. It's going to be a really long day. My role at the British Council is to advise and help develop innovative international projects with partners that are producing some of the most exciting projects today in arts, creative industries and new media. And as Drew said, we began talking about this last year when it was clear that our organisations shared a commitment to develop international collaboration to support innovation, and from there GloNet developed. For those who don't know, the British Council is the UK's cultural relations organisation, and we build engagement and trust for the UK through the exchange of knowledge and ideas between people worldwide. And the aim through our Creative and Knowledge Economy programme is to build openness, the sharing of knowledge and ideas, and the promotion of creativity and innovation. And GloNet is an element of one of our build and test phase of a new project that we're working on that's called the Global Innovation Lab. And this focuses on the role of research and innovation in response to the major global challenges of our time. And this project aims to support early career researchers, innovators and entrepreneurs to develop new international collaboration. And we hope that engaging with individuals from across cultural, scientific and technological areas, we hope that it will result in thousands of new links between research and innovation across the globe, and it will help to foster a culture of sort of sustainable development. And GloNet is a new way to test connecting people and creating opportunities for exchange. This is a prototype, as Drew says, it is an experiment. So there may be glitches, but there will certainly be lots of serendipity, and I hope there's going to be lots of fun. Now, I'm going to do a boring bit here, but it's really important to us that we get your feedback. So please fill in the evaluation forms. And I'm here for the whole of the festival, so if you've got any comments that you want to say to me directly, please don't hesitate to come and speak to me. So thank you very much. Thank you for everybody here. Good luck, guys, behind the scenes. And meet everybody. Okay, thanks, Drew.
We now have a short film by Northern Net, and then we'll hear a few words from Mercedes Clark-Smith.
Hello, I'm Mercedes Clark-Smith and I'm Project Director for the Northern Net Innovation and Collaboration Project. I feel a little bit like this is kind of a word from our sponsors and a bit Mad Men, so I'll be as brief and interesting as I can. Northern Net, as I hope that film showed you, is a collaboration network. It uses 100 megabyte broadband, we have high definition video conferencing, and we send high volume, secure files across the world. We have 17 studios across the north in major cities. And as I said, we connect worldwide. It's a network built for the digital and creative sector. We're about to launch our collaborative speed dating system, which is part of our website, which will allow digital and creative companies to come together and collaborate and pick up contracts, large-scale contracts, multi-platform contracts, the type we're going to see coming into Media City in Salford. Behind that system, there are regional knowledge managers based in Yorkshire, the North East and the North West, who are actually facilitating that. So why did we get involved in GloNet? Well, GloNet is no fly, and I guess Northern Net is no drive, although that sounds better written down than it does spoken out loud. And the other thing that really interested us in this is all about value as interactions. Its value is the interactions between people. Technology is just a platform, and that's how we regard Northern Net. Fantastic platform, but it's really the people that are going to make the difference. And failing that, we quite like the idea of boxing over distance, because that could solve some problems. So if you want to find out more about Northern Net, come and have a look at our website, or you can drop me an email, mercedes@northernnet.co.uk. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the day.
Thank you, Mercedes. And now a little special contribution. One of the things we're doing with these cities is we wanted to do something outside the frame of this event. We wanted to do something that's got a bit more deep engagement. And I've been really inspired by one of our participants from last year, Adam Greenfield, listening to him talk at Picnic and elsewhere, and some of the concepts he was developing and proposing about some of the challenges, some of the downsides of living in the network city. And so I contacted Adam, and we decided that Adam should have a greater participation in the festival this year. And together we hatched this plan for Serendipity City. And Serendipity City has got a number of aspects which Adam will quickly run us through. And one of those is that we've challenged our champions in the cities to work with small groups of people and to stage a workshop, so urbanists and technologists, to answer a set of challenges and questions that we've posed them about the situation in their city, and then to feed back to us later in the day and give Adam a chance to respond to those comments, to see how they challenge, reinforce his thesis, maybe give us some solutions. So if I can hand over to Adam, who's going to quickly tell you a little bit about the background to that and talk it through for you. Adam.
Thanks a lot. It's great to be back in Manchester. Thanks so much to Drew and Julian and to Kate and Michelle for putting everything together for me. So what do I mean when I say Serendipity City? Why have we chosen to frame this event around this notion of serendipity, this fertile notion that really refers to this wonderful quality that isn't simply surprise. It's a really textured quality that we experience in life when we go looking, we go on a mission to try and find one particular thing. And in the course of that mission, we're distracted, we're interrupted, we pause in our steps, and we find something else, something entirely unrelated, and something wonderful. And that's the quality that we think of as serendipity. And when we find this in urban environments, when we find this in our urban experiences, to my mind, it's an indicator that there's something really profoundly right going on in that city or in that place. It's an indicator to me that there's sufficient richness and texture in that environment so that you can go there for one reason and wind up departing along a completely different pathway, wind up unfolding the experience along a completely different axis, and be catapulted out into an entirely different part of your life, perhaps. You know, you go looking for a job and you meet a romantic partner. You go looking for a title on the shelf at a bookstore and you find another book entirely. And you turn a corner instead of another corner, and you wind up meeting the person that's going to frame the rest of your entire life. To my mind, this is something really, really potent, really fertile, something really wonderful to happen in the course of a life. And the scary and the sad thing about it to me is that I sense that it's under threat. I sense that it's under threat from something, a very particular set of challenges that have to do with our network technologies and the way we use them to socialize. And the way I think about it is this. I think cities have evolved over 5,000 years. Dense human settlements have evolved so that they're really, really good at forcing you to rub up against diversity. No matter where you come from, no matter who you are, no matter what background you are, class, ethnicity, race, language, any of that, no matter where you come from, if you live in a dense urban place, you're going to be forced to negotiate against other kinds of people with other kinds of values, other kinds of instincts, other kinds of tastes. And I think that this is a really powerful generator of the serendipity we've been talking about. I think it's a really powerful generator of diversity. I think it's a really powerful generator of human maturity and human evolution, psychologically, socially. And the trouble is that that's just not how socialization works online. When we look at things like Facebook and like Twitter, when you look at who your friends are on a Facebook, we socialize, we group people around ourselves who are like ourselves, who we already know, who we already feel like we have something in common with. Socialization online strikes me as not particularly exposing us to the same tensions and the same fault lines that socialization in urban environments does. And my concern is that as we increasingly overlay the digital, the networked, onto the physical space of the city, we begin to superimpose the logic of networked sociality onto the logic of the city, the logic that's been so fertile and so fruitful for 5,000 years or more. And I worry that we begin to not quite know what to do with each other. And this is just only, further enhanced and accelerated by the fact that if you watch people on the street these days, we're likely to have our earbuds in. We're likely to be down in the space of an interface rather than engaging with each other, with our eyes, fully psychically committed to the urban environment. We're likely to be in the sort of interstitial space of our interfaces instead. And I find this all potentially very fruitful, potentially very liberating, empowering, but also kind of troubling. I worry. So last year after my talk here, we went to the cafe, Julian and Drew and I, and we sat down and we said, what might we do to underwrite the sense of possibility, potential, latent potential that gives rise to serendipity in cities? And they went off and had to think about it, and the result was the wonderful GloNet program that we have before you today. We're going to be engaging with people in critical cores in Sendai and in Vancouver and in Istanbul and in Sao Paulo. And we're going to be asking these people, how might you use technology against itself in a way? Because I really do want to underwrite what Mercedes said a couple of moments ago, that technology is just a platform. It really, there are affordances and constraints that come along with any technology, things that it keeps us from doing well, things that it helps us do better. Each human community that picks up a given technology is going to have to engage it in a way that's appropriate to them. But the choice still remains in our hands to a very great degree. So it would be very, very interesting to find out from Vancouver, from Sao Paulo, from Sendai, and from Istanbul, how they're going to take up the networked digital intercommunication technologies that they now have available to them, and how they're going to force those things to cut against their own grain in a way that speaks to some of the deeper human values that have arisen out of the great history of human urban culture. I'm really excited to see what they come up with. It's a big challenge. It's going to be different. It's going to be textured and layered according to the local technology, according to the local culture, according to the local sense of what's possible, what's likely, what's useful, what's productive, and what should be done with these things. So I think we've got a really, really exciting experience ahead of us today. I'm really looking forward to hearing what each of the workshops have gotten into. And I share a sense that in its very design, as well as hopefully in the content that comes out of it, GloNet is the first in a series of events that are really going to challenge the technologies that we have to speak more to our deeper prerogatives and some of our older urgings. And with that, I think I'm going to hand it back to Drew, and we're going to be getting on a start on the GloNet program for today. I'm very, very excited to see what we come up with, and I hope you'll join me in thanking all of our participants from around the world. Thanks so much, and it's a real wonderful pleasure and privilege to be here.
Thank you. Take care.